Tonight on Newswatch, a local police department is using a new technology to help make work easier and safer.
And they're not the only ones getting an upgrade. A local K-9 unit has been approved for a brand new set of wheels.
And today's sunshine was beautiful, but Jesse, will it be short-lived?
The sunshine will, in fact, be short-lived, as will the warmer temperatures that we've seen across the area. I'll break it down coming up. We've got a pattern change in store for us. This is Newswatch, and your Thursday's edition starts right now.
One local police station is ditching their old-school pen and paper and moving towards a modern way to issue a ticket. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Ruffalo.
And I'm Lacey Clifton. Moultrie County is trying something new to help make the daily work of police officers a little bit easier. Sullivan's Police Department has switched to e-citations, which is an electronic form of a citation. Officials say this device saves time, makes the ticket legible and more accurate. Patrolman Josh Qualls is training other officers on how to use the new technology and says it takes a while to get the hang of it.
A former middle school baseball coach accused of sexually abusing a minor pleads guilty. 27-year-old Wade Birch entered the plea in a Moultrie County court yesterday. Police say Birch engaged in sexual activity with a 13-year-old girl while he was a coach at Okaw Valley Middle School. He'll be sentenced March 7th. In exchange for the guilty plea, attorneys dismissed a charge of criminal sexual assault against Birch. A St. Joseph man is found guilty but mentally ill after leaving his infant daughter in a field. Officials say 24-year-old Thomas Benoit was convicted Wednesday on charges of murder or intent to kill and child abduction. Under this conviction, officials say he could face 6 to 30 years in prison, where he will get mental health services. The prosecution and defense had expected the judge to find Benoit not guilty by reason of insanity based on a psychiatric's opinion. Benoit didn't understand his actions were criminal. Come next fall, some local high school students will be the new kids on a college campus. Last night, the Arcola School Board voted yes to allow their junior and senior students to take classes at Parkland College. Superintendent Tom Mulligan says Parkland will provide students with vocational courses like criminal justice, computer networking, EMT, and more. He says registration will start next school year with a $250 charge to the student, and the district will pick up the rest of the tab. A handful of Kmart stores across the country will be closing. Sears Holding Corporation says the stores will close by mid-April, but declined to give a number or offer how many people would be affected. Newswatch has confirmed Kmart in Terre Haute, Indiana will be shutting its doors. Company officials say the nationwide closings are part of an effort to reduce expenses and adjust assets.
Well, we enjoyed some warmer weather and some sunshine.
But Jesse, times are a-changing.
That is absolutely correct. They are changing. We've got quite the change in store. It's a pattern change. Cooler temperatures once again return after some rain showers, but that cool air, we're talking 30s and even temperatures overnight back down into the single digits. I'll break down the timing of that coming up. Temperatures in the lower 30s.
You know, it was nice today, but then by Sunday night, it's back down to 7 degrees.
That's right, up and down.
It's just like a roller coaster.
It is, yes.
Still to come on Thursday's edition of Newswatch.
As I'm hosting the draw, I'm thinking about, everyone out there sitting with their tickets in their hand, watching, hoping and praying that their numbers are going to come up.
And the numbers did come up for 3 lucky ticket holders who'll be splitting a whopping $1.6 billion Powerball jackpot. But they aren't the only big winners. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
Thanks, Lacey. In sports tonight, the Eastern Illinois men play host to the EKU Colonels, looking to improve on just 2 wins in their last 10 games. And later, the women's team is trying to get their first win since November of 2015. They start up in just a couple minutes, so stay with us. Sports Watch is next. Top of the sports news tonight, Eastern Illinois men's basketball plays one of its biggest games of the season. The Panthers welcome Eastern Kentucky to Lance Arena as they try to flip the script on their season. EIU comes into play at 4-12 overall and 1-3 in the Ohio Valley Conference. After 2 straight losses to Belmont and Tennessee State in conference, the Colonels enter tonight's matchup as the top-ranked offense in the OVC with 79 points per game and an 11-7 record to show for it. Tip-off is at 8 in Lance Arena. Just before that game, also in Lance Arena, the women's basketball team looks to end their own losing streak. The Panthers host Eastern Kentucky with hopes of ending a 15-game skid dating back to the second game of the season. Because of that, Eastern sits at 1-15 on the year with no wins in conference play. Eastern Kentucky is 8-6 overall and sits in 4th place in the OVC at 2-1. The game actually started a fefew minutes ago, so we'll have the highlights on tomorrow's edition along with the men's game that starts right after it. At the high school level, the Charleston Trojans look unstoppable at 19-0 this season. The Trojans have yet to play a close game this year, but now they head to Salem tonight where things could change. The Wildcats are no slouch, sitting at 16-3 on the year, with one of those 3 losses coming when the Trojans beat them earlier this season. That game was in Charleston, but now Salem has the home crowd on their side as things tip off at 7:30. We'll let you know tomorrow whether the Trojans make it to a historic 20-0. Speaking of the Trojans, they moved up to number 6 in the most recent Associated Press poll, 2 spots ahead of where they were last week. Going down a class to the 2A rankings, Teutopolis still sits in 3rd with their 16-5 record, while Tuscola is only 2 votes away from cracking the top 10. And finally, in the Class 1A rankings, Danville-Schlarman sits in 4th with a 13-1 record. Meanwhile, in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls have a chance to end their losing skid against the struggling 76ers. The Bulls are in Philadelphia tonight after losing their last 3 games, but the 76ers aren't doing so hot themselves, winning only 4 games the entire season. Chicago may be without Derrick Rose, who's questionable with a knee injury. The Bulls are in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference standings, while the 76ers are obviously in last place. Chicago leads the season series 2-0, and tip-off tonight is at 6. And finally, in sports, the Lakeland men and women's basketball teams fell to Wabash Valley College. The men dropped to 4-13 on the season with the 94-85 loss, while the women fell to 9-7 after their 73-72 loss. The men will return to action Saturday against Vincennes University, while the women's next matchup is against Southwestern Illinois College on January 20th. Lacey, back to you. Recapping one of tonight's top stories, a former middle school baseball coach accused of sexually abusing a minor pleads guilty. 27-year-old Wade Birch entered the plea in a Moultrie County court yesterday. Police say Birch engaged in sexual activity with the 13-year-old girl while he was a coach at Okaw Valley Middle School. He'll be sentenced March 7th. In exchange for the guilty plea, attorneys dismissed a charge of criminal sexual assault against Birch.
Well, we definitely got a taste of that warmer weather today. Can't complain.
But it seems like it's just a taste.
It's just a taste because it won't last long. Come tomorrow, things start a warming trend from there after that.
Just as long as rain totals aren't like after Christmas, because that was too much.
Right. I don't think we have to worry about that. Not much, but we will see some rain for all day tomorrow.
All right, thanks you guys, and we appreciate you spending part of your evening with WEIU News Watch.
Remember, if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night and join us again tomorrow here on the area's only local newscast on PBS and next on WEIU, the Nightly Business Report.